Stunning. Look at you. Look at you being stunning. Oh, okay. Right. This is a very serious interview with Bérengère de Talley.
Serious?
Is that how you pronounce your name?
Oh gosh, I don't know how you pronounce it.
I know how to pronounce Bérengère, but do you pronounce de Talley? Is that the way
yes,
you
you're
pronounce
correct,
de Talley?
Karen, because it's an accent acute.
That's
So
right.
de Tarlet,
De Talley.
which I can't even say properly because I haven't got an English accent when I speak French, but it's de Tarlet,
De Talley.
pointy.
Right.
But in Australia, they'll just go de Tarlet,
De Talley.
de Tarlet.
De Talley.
That's just L-A-Y. Is it?
That's
No.
true. That's so true. Whereas I go to the other extreme and go Bérengère
No, that's
de
okay.
Talley. De Talley. Sorry, de
That's
Talley.
Yeah, pointy.
Oh, up there, Karen. All right, fine. So here we are this morning with Bérengère and Ricky, the resident art critic Ricky, speaking about your art. So, where would you like to start?
Where do I just say? Where I don't know. Like, where do I want to start? Like, where? What's going on? It's more like, where do I start? I mean, that's what it's all about. Like, what is when I'm sitting here, because I came here an hour before, trying to because I go out, I work outdoors. I don't like being in the studio. I feel trapped. So I thrive on being outside, and even if it's going to rain, with I'm prepared. My
That's
umbrella,
right,
I'm
with your
equipped the whole
umbrella.
bit. But normally what happens is once I get on site, I'm overwhelmed. It's
Really?
Of course.
Really, once you actually arrive, before you start doing your work.
I'm overwhelmed.
Really?
And I sit down and this morning's I get there, I go, oh, I'm going to miss out. I have an instinct. Well, because you're a lady, you've lived, and you're a very deep woman. But I get here, and what happens to me is I say, it's all going to fall apart. It's going to crumble in front of me. I mean, that's what's at the base of it. It's going to crumble. Wow. Everything's going to fall apart, and I'm going to miss it. And so I get there, and I'm just like, I've got to get it. Of course, I never get it. I never capture it because it's impossible.
Right.
That's life. And then I get here, and I go, what? There's so much going on. I don't know what to get. And
wow.
That's my process. And
each and every time.
There's never one moment I arrive completely zen and relaxed and just float into it.
There you go. You've just dispelled many myths about art.
But
and the artiste.
But they're all like, I mean, for me, that's the process. And the only way, it's different for everybody. The only way I can get like that, but it goes back to my background, is if I've either exhausted myself previously. So I'll do either a lot of sport and swimming. And so by the time I get there, I just collapse.
Right.
And then I can finally because I can't move actually, I can't. I can finally sit down and just draw or paint. But if I haven't gone through that, and it means a good 1 or 2 days.
Right.
I sit there and I'm just like,
wow. Isn't that an amazing thing though, really? Because it is that thing of there is no way in the whole entire world that I would have imagined that about you and your art from looking at that. There is no way in the world that I would have understood or intuited any of that, really. And it is, for me, it's the beauty of combining words and images, always the same as you did for that beautiful little navigational piece that you had, that had all of that story about where you were in your life, while you were where you were in the Pacific. Yeah, so it's that. And that's an amazingly eloquent way of, looking at your art, you as an artist.
Well, I can't speak it because I'm not good with words, and I do what I draw, but that's why I'm interested in. I wanted you. That's why you're hired to do this.
Yay!
Because you can. Yeah, I love that perspective.
But it's
because
an amazing
I can't.
thing.
I'm not going to sit there and write about or talk about it on
Right.
Instagram because I'm dyslexic with words. I have a hard time writing.
Yeah.
But I just thought a lot of it for me is it's not really about the end. It's not the actual end result. I mean, for me it's a process. It's always been a process. So I mean, this is painting. Before I was sound recordist on location. I worked with dancers and performed in.
Can you hold that up? So
Yeah,
that we're
these are
looking
just
at
these
it,
aren't finished
but
watercolors.
that one in particular, because it has that
These
lovely.
are just it's not like there's so many things that are incorrect, but for me it's being outdoors in the moment, capturing. It's all that's gone before. It's not about look at this painting, and even the people who I meet, or because I put myself out there, but it's not about me. It's about what happens between people. So from art for me is just a way of relating, and so it's easier with visual, because before I was with sound, nobody understand what I was doing, which was good because I could get away with a lot of stuff because they had no idea. I'd just be there with my microphone and I'd record. They thought like you get more with a microphone than a camera.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I edited out all the intimate things, but
right.
I would, and at the base, I just talk about this because it's related to the painting. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
People say, why are you doing it? And, years and years of work. And I go, for me, it's just an excuse to go and to get access to places, and to go to places and spend hours and hours on end in factories or remote locations and with people and my microphone. And even if they'd look at me and I'd say, you got to listen to what I'm doing, which was incomprehensible.
Right.
And I knew it was just more about, it was an excuse to create a relationship.
Wow.
Like with every interviews, anything, for me that's what art is. Because if you don't have that, then you've got no reason to go there. And that's my own. I couldn't do it with anything else because I've got no other skills. So I do it with my painting. But that's the reason. And I was doing this because I was on the boat and it was easier than sound. But another thing that's good with images is people relate really quickly, and you don't need to explain a lot.
No, you don't need to explain anything.
You just-
but to have all of that explanation, for you to have just said everything that you've said, gives so much more depth to what, to the art that you make, but also to you as a human being, because otherwise all we have of each other is a facade, a one-dimensional, view of either painting or of yourself. But if you fill in all of the blanks, which you've just done, with those beautiful, eloquent little, especially little birdies in the sky, and I understand why they're so appealing to people.
I mean, I don't know if they are, but it's what, yes, Karen, you said, it's like the facade. We can't, we have to have a certain amount of, I'm thinking in French, tenue, a posture, and you can't put everything out there. But I am, because I've worked in the arts, on stage, or there's a moment where you have to let go of the appearance. And I think art and painting and doing this is a moment that's permitted where people can finally access, the underlying what you see.
But I mean, that's, it's an amazing thing, especially speaking to you, who describes yourself as being, inarticulate and not good with words, and yet you've given me more understanding of you and the rationale for why you do what you do and have done, even before becoming a visual artist, than I ever would have imagined, really, and you did all of that with words. So
yeah, because you asked me. Because actually everybody I've staged this is, I can cut that out, edit. This is all just a facade. I've staged it all. But by the way, I've come from you're like the arts, you're exactly like the people I worked with in France, and they did so much good to me. They said, Bérangère, you got to get there. It's like, there's a lot of it that's real, but this isn't like, it's this is an interview. It's like I had to create the moment. If I didn't create the moment, it wouldn't have been there.
Absolutely. But you've created the moment in a way which is totally true to who you are, with your great little gumboots and your brolly and your little board shorts,
Oh yeah, because I have to go. I go swimming. I got my board shorts on because I've got my swimming costume in my bag. So
beautiful.
I'm ready to go into
Yeah.
So if I need to go.
Oh, we'll include that. We'll include that in the clip.
No, normally
If we
I
can.
don't. Oh, I didn't think of that, but
We should.
I don't
We
think
can.
I'll go today. It's another time. Look,
Perhaps
but Karen, when are you leaving?
the 4th of April, which is Tuesday week.
When are you coming back?
About 6 months.
Yeah, isn't that as it always is? Like I knew when I asked you, I knew you were gonna say, you go, but Bérangère, I'm leaving now. Why is everybody contacting me just as I'm leaving? It's always like that.
It's true.
Have you noticed?
Everyone loves you when you're going away. It's
No,
true.
but
Each and every time that I've gone travelling,
Everybody goes, hi, can I see you? But why didn't you call me a year ago?
That's right.
6 months?
It's true. About 6 months. It's fine.
Do you think you're coming back? I hope you are.
I'm not 100%
No,
sure.
yeah, you don't have to.
Not
So-
100% sure. What I'm going to do though, I am going to pause this sound recording as opposed